yet. But we here. You know what I'm saying? Taking y'all to Council Rock so y'all can see where we got blew up at. Y'all, so they try to lie and say it was some goddamn electricity or some lightning struck or some goddamn shit. But shout out to everybody, flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You know what I'm saying? You know, the native Indian country. You know what I'm saying? Understand Indian country. So yeah, this is where Seneca, the Erie. Well, that was a little bit before, but they blended in with a lot of the Shawnee and the Seneca and the Lenape tribes and things of that nature. And we was doing a lot of at this time, this when we was doing deals with the French. So we was helping the French fight a lot of times, but we was doing all the fighting. So when it come to the British, right, we had whooped their ass. We was beating the British ass and shit like that. We beat the British ass, so we won that script. They don't teach y'all about all the wars we won. See, the difference is, me as a kid, this is all I know. So this is growing up. We used to interact the ceremonies. Like, we'd come here to plan what we gonna do throughout the day and shit like that. So it's just help you understand like that it never ended. How, you know, y'all might got so many foreigners coming over here, y'all look at here different, but like the natural stuff never ended for a lot of people here. So just when sometimes I just be hearing shit like foreigners arguing with foreigners, like, so it be sounding weird at times. Yeah, but this the field. They came and created a Scorch Earth program right here and split the rock. I'm gonna show y'all the rock that they split. This is where we all used to meet up at and shit like that. It was all long houses here though. It was all long houses. This is Council Rock right here. And after we defeated the British in a small scrimmage, British was mad that we was getting guns by the French. So for the most part, once we whooped their ass in a small scrimmage, they did some shit that was unmoral. When we came to celebrate, there ain't no way, there was a certain way we construct war. If we win, we win. It's like one piece of land or something like that. They did conniving shit. What made us start doing more guerrilla warfare type shit. It's the Brock right here. So the folklore, the legend has it that when we were celebrating, this is what they got online. But I'm from here. Like this not even that. The story online is nothing nobody tells here. The story online is that we came here in a ceremony, and then it blew up. I mean, lightning struck or something like that. That's some false shit. That's never told. That was never the understanding. The understanding was we just got blew up with a Scorch Earth program right here, and one of them big construction boulder the blocks thing did that. So when it came, it was breaking Native Americans' kneecaps and shit like that. And then that's what cracked this. That's what cracked it. It got hit with them boulder things, whatever British be calling those things. So it got hit with it on the other side. It got hit a couple times. It got hit right there too. But that one split it in half. That one had split it in half. So they used to be lying and shit like that. But this is the where we are. Anytime there's a rock, it means there's a cycle. So the biggest tree or the oldest tree or the most like substantiated tonkas, right, which would be the landmass, right, it represents something that was here longer. So the ancestors know more about it than us. So it's almost like a full cycle. Then you get the cadensity of something creating a layer of life. So the most heavy physical things represent that. So it puts us in a situation of no matter where we go out, we create a planet-con, we circle back to here and create a council, because it's like a center point, it's like a rock. You know what I'm saying? So this is where all the tribes will come and figure out how to conduct things, and any neighboring tribes that's in the middle of the war ground or the red plate spots, right? This is where we come up with healthy ways where we don't have to kill each other and we can still share the land in some way when we was doing it honorably amongst ourselves. So when it comes to diplomat and Republican and Democrat stuff, that really only works when you're amongst your own people. It don't work in a concept of everybody being in one situation. You see what I'm saying? It don't really work that way. But you see how it's split. So we came here. It was 1755 when this folklore happened, or whatever the case may be. But when we came here, it was already like a rock. Like wherever we go, this is the center point, coming back to an east point of something, and actually coming up with what we're going to agree with or disagree with, or if we're going to go to war or not, whatever, during that time that they was making us do that type of stuff. Then it was a situation where we had beat the British because they was upset about our relationship with French. But as those skirmishes kept happening, that's what allowed the French, I mean British, to kind of take over the territory and force us to start doing deals with them once they didn't destroyed us, and we had to gain sanction with other tribes. So there was a large amount of area, a large amount of way, a large amount of Wyandotte that had to blend in with the Shawnees. You know what I'm saying? Because Shawnees was real strong and things of that nature as far as what they kind of concept that they was in anyway. But yeah, just give y'all one more look at it and stuff. Because I was already out here doing a little exercise and stuff. But yeah, it's a big rock. Anytime there's a rock, and the head chief would have stood on top of it. But this would have been the area where like a few chiefs pop up at, and things of that nature, to try to conduct what's gonna go on as far as how you run that territory, how somebody else run the other territory. But for the most part, we were just having scrimmages at that time. This was the early times of trying to figure out, because y'all think settling didn't start until the 1700s. Settling didn't start in the 1600s. That's a lie. And if it was any type of back and forth, it was just trade routes. It was never a circumstance of you living here. They'd come for like a couple days, we'll feed them, they'll learn our ways, and they'll leave. So during that time, coming back and forth, the 1600s was them etching out a map just by dealing with us. They didn't come start living over here to the 1700s. Once they got comfortable with us already doing what they was doing in Africa and over here, that whole 1500, 1600 was just a age of exploration, not a settling. That wasn't a settling time. So we was aware of colonists because it was old, what I'm talking about, but back then it was like a new thing in like the 1400s going up to the 1600s. So it was already a familiar thing in the 1600s. We was well aware that we're packaging up this type of stuff for settlers that be coming over here, like making money and stuff like that, and us already being fruitful by ourselves and stuff. That's already a thing. You see what I'm saying? So 1700s, that's when they pretty much got grips on the mapping out by coming back and forth, and then figuring out, hey, we could just replace them because how they already working, but we could take those resources that they got and control it. So this is starting 1700s, but they came up with all the ideas of bringing Arabs and Asians and Africans over here and stuff like that. They came up with that idea in the 1700s as a whole Mustafa's plan in the first place, to get us out the way because we was in control over these lands and stuff. So you're able to start off with it appearing to be business deals. This would allows so much manipulation to go on. By the time the fighting start to happen, they already had like a set up plan that they was going to do, what made them a step ahead, aka bringing other people over here with them and stuff like that in the middle of it, already having business deals. And so when you're dealing with one tribe, another colonist dealing with another tribe, right? We're not even thinking about our land getting taken. We're thinking about, oh, I'm doing better business deals with French. Oh, I'm doing better business deal with British. Like, so when we start a war with each other, it's more on those bases, more about what's best decision for the land. We're not even thinking about somebody just about to come make a whole country over here like that. You see what I'm saying? So then when we start getting that idea, once they start to settle and take us off of a land, and then have some Arabs, Asians, or some African in that area plucking from the land, or whatever the case may be, here's where all the animosity starts. So this is the beginning of the Indian Wars. That's just the 1700s up to now. Don't have anything to do with the 1600s or whatever the case may be. The 1600s, a lot of times when they was trading and they tried to stay, we was kicking their ass and making them go back home and shit like that. So the whole 1600s was just calling us losing wars. It wasn't even wars back in the day. It was just get the fuck off the land if you're trying to stay too long, or if you're doing stupid business deals. They're getting their ass kicked, the whole 1600s or whatever the case may be. They only got sufficient in the 1700s. They only got sufficient in the 1700s once they figured out the little scheme of bringing other people and creating a military and stuff like that. But it was really just trying to live. They wasn't funded like that or whatever. So Britain was kind of doing everything. So this whole area got blew up. Here's the thing too. I'm pretty sure in your cities and stuff, anywhere there's a park, that was the living conditions for the Native Americans. Then where the colonists tried to take over. You like the urban area and the suburb area back in the day was just outskirts and other stuff that Native Americans was doing and stuff like that. But this all cities start from the waterline, the waterfronts and stuff like that. So the area of your city and then connecting to a downtown, that's where everything is established at from the Native Americans, and then dealing with the settlers. Then all the spread out is just when the people who's the most poor got it built in the connecting our trade route type shit. So we covered the whole land and stuff, but y'all got to understand the way the cities is mapped out now is very different than the way the cities was mapped out back in the day. And it was only mapped out based upon what names we gave it. So when you be hearing certain Native American names, it's so many of us, you're not necessarily, don't let them get you lost where, oh, this colorism. Oh, so that mean Africans always was, that's stupid shit. No, stop. Don't let nobody, especially if you got an immediate family, that's the government online doing stupid shit like that. But for the most part, it's so many of us and things of that nature. These terms are just ways to put us in a box. For an example, you might have somebody who ain't native online, and then they start saying they Lenape or whatever the case may be. Lenape is the term for the Confederation, and mad people was joining the Confederation. Shawnee, all kind of people and stuff like that, because Lenape, it means itself, opposer to anyone who's established in circumstances that's foreign. So that's what the le and the ne and the bay mean. I can break it down into detail, but it just means someone who's more caring about the land and the people than someone who's trying to manipulate it. You know what I'm saying? So when you get to Lenape, it's just a short term. It's a short term that the colonists, how the colonists see it. How the Lenape made it, all the tribes, it was all the tribes, the Mingo and all that stuff, right? But a lot of times it's what they had to do when the Haudenosaunee start getting funny, and then we start to see who was specifically in the Haudenosaunee with the Iroquois. You know what I'm saying? But it's really just a term to categorize every. So for an example, let's say you hear Delaware, you hear Lenape, and let's say you hear somebody interacted with them, a colonist interacted with them in Jersey or New York. They're just talking about, they just put one word on all the Native Americans they was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? They just putting one word on all the Native Americans they was dealing with, but none of them was actually the term Lenape. That's a Confederation term. You know what I'm saying? Where can I get all this link from? That's a Confederation term. You see what I'm saying? All of these are Confederation terms that encapsulate all the tribes, and they ain't about to get into detail and stuff like that. So they'll be generalizing though. But there is no Lenape blood. You know what I'm saying? There was a Deer clan in Lenape. Mad type of Cahuilla. Motherfucking shit that y'all don't even hear about. Apex. Put it this way, white boy didn't come up with anything. So anything you see in America is white boy cosplaying or plagiarizing Native Americans in some way. Every single thing. It don't matter. Technology, some curriculum they come up with, all the way down to metaverse. They took that from Metacon, and talking about the quantum world. They took that from Tis Quantum, Tecumseh, shooting star energy. They made refrigerators out of homeboy and shit. You know what I'm saying? Out of meat. It's like, it's every single thing. So when you understand that, you will be able to peep game online, how they doing that to me right now and other Native Americans. And this will put you in a better perspective to protect your culture right now. But I'm about to be out. So I can go ahead and get prepared. But I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. Y'all stay spiritually protected. Like, this was just real short and shit like that, because I'll be doing my own shit, my own amount, and changing the world around and shit like that myself, like everywhere. I never changed doing what I'm doing. I guess that's why my mind be a lot of different than other people online and shit like that. But now I just get y'all involved. So when I pop up, let y'all know what's more and how to get in tune And for the most part, where to start. So even when you by yourself again, you come up with better ideas to handle your circumstances that you already in, that you just see it's just a whole bunch of numbers in front of you that you ain't never known was that before. And you thought The Matrix was your favorite movie until you just realized, oh, you an actor in it right now. You're an actress in it right now. You know what I'm saying? White boss, bitch, you know. For sure. You know, I listen to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel. And I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. I'm going to put it out. I'm going to put it on that.